Going on, Jerome's L'Jarius Sneed is one of the best young corners in the game, just off his second Super Bowl win with the Kansas City Chiefs, and was the subject of a lot of trade speculation this offseason as the Chiefs franchise tagged him with the intention of moving on and trading him, and that's exactly what happened late Friday night. L'Jarius Sneed traded to the Tennessee Titans for a 2025 third-round pick, as well as a seventh-round flip-flop of picks. Cool. And also contract-wise, he got the bag. He got himself paid 4 years, $78 million, $19 million average per, as well as $55 million guaranteed, slightly ahead of the deal that Jalen Johnson recently signed with the crooked Chicago Bears. So one of the best young cornerbacks in the game got paid and also finds himself in a new franchise situation. Now, what's interesting is that the Vikings had been tied to Sneed potentially this offseason, and it had been sort of radio silence as teams had Sneed on the back burner, him on the franchise tag. But apparently, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic, the Vikings were all up in there. Teams that poked around over the last few weeks on Sneed included the Vikings, the Patriots, and the Colts. Now, there's a lot of steam from the Colts, especially from a lot of Colts beat writers. So didn't work out, and now Sneed goes to a division rival. Here's what it is. The Titans stayed in contact with the Chiefs and found ways to get it done, including the new contract that is expected. So, yeah, the Sneed contract is a sticking point. And what's interesting is the trade compensation. So, not 2024, 2025 third-round pick. Now, the Vikings are projected to have a few third-round compensatory picks, maybe two, maybe just one, depending on what happens with the cancellation with the compensatory picks. So, the Vikings, I mean, maybe they could have moved here and Kwesi could have gotten something done, but also the Vikings lack a second-round pick next year, and also the lack of second-round pick this year, and also a third-round pick this year through various trades, moving up with the Texans as well as the Hopkinson trade. That's why the Vikings are down to third. So maybe they thought, okay, Sneed is a stud, but the juice isn't worth the squeeze, even at a third-round pick, as well as him getting paid. The Vikings, they could have structured it where you would have taken it on the chin next year when the Vikings had a lot of cap space. Also, they still have plenty of room for Justin Jefferson and Darisaw potentially as well, but it just didn't work out at the end of the day. And L'Jarius Sneed, I mean, he is one of the better young corners in the game. The pride of Louisiana Tech really is rising up. And, I mean, Kansas City, they have a lot of other mouths to feed. You got Creed Humphrey coming up on a contract. You got Bolton come up as well. So, I mean, guys are going to get paid in Kansas City. And the Chiefs, whether it's Javarius Ward, whether it's now L'Jarius Sneed, probably Trent McDuffie in a couple seasons, they just don't hang on to their cornerbacks. Now, they're good. They're certainly good at drafting cornerbacks, as evidenced by L'Jarius Sneed probably having the play of the season for the Chiefs last year, taking away a touchdown from the Ravens in the AFC title game. But, of course, we Vikings fans know L'Jarius Sneed for literally holding it down against Jordan Addison in the Vikings game earlier this season, as well as, hey, apparently that's not a penalty when you're the Chiefs. But it is interesting because obviously the Vikings, signing Shaq Griffin probably closed the door on them being interested in trading for Sneed as well as paying him. But it does show that Kwesi, he understands that cornerback depth needs to be addressed, and also getting guys specifically for what Flores wants to do. Maybe some of the guys that were drafted in 2022, whether it was Evans, whether it was Booth, whether it's whoever, don't really sync up with what Flores is going to do moving on forward. But again, L'Jarius Sneed is an absolute monster. L'Jarius Sneed is a stud. And if the Vikings would have pulled the trigger and gave up their future third as well as paid that man his money, I mean, certainly would have been down to clown. But didn't happen, didn't pan out, but it is noteworthy that the Vikings were interested. Now, what level of interest does poking around mean? Don't know. Maybe Kwesi was just doing his job and checking out every possibility, every scenario, every eventuality. But, I mean, if they're fully in, they're fully in. And also, this could bleed into, hey, maybe watch out for the Vikings taking a corner perhaps earlier than expected in this draft. Well, if they have any draft picks, because they're going after a quarterback as well. So there you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Your thoughts are thoughts. Diana Rossini of The Athletic points out the Vikings have poked around potentially trading and paying L'Jarius Sneed before he was sent from the Chiefs to the Titans. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skol production value.